It came down to her admitting that, the kids were hers, and she said a lot of nasty things about Dan.
In our spotlight this morning, the woman that Mama Donna Adelson called her jailhouse daughter is speaking out as Adelson files her notice of appeal. Adelson's appealing both the guilty verdict and the murder of her former son-in-law, Dan Markell, and her life sentence in prison. However, the brief with her reasoning for the appeal has not yet been filed. So we'll wait on that and report back when we get it. In the meantime, we're hearing from the woman Donna called her jail daughter. Drina Bernhardt was in the Leon County Jail at the same time as Donna Adelson. And she went on our friend Joel Waldman's podcast, Surviving the Survivor. And she said she was offered cash, pills, commissary, even a grand piano to give false testimony during Donna's trial. And remember Donna's tearful testimony about her treatment in the jail by the other inmates? Well, Drina says it was all lies.
The shower thing was not true. Maybe her hearing was off, but she would talk to me about how she's going to manipulate the psychiatrist so she looked like she had memory problems. She was never attacked. Nobody grabbed her arm. No one was, it wasn't, no, she never got touched in the shower.
Oh boy, and that's not all Drina had to say. Let's get some more from our guest, Joel Waldman, the co-host of the Surviving the Survivor podcast. Joel, good morning to you. Tell us more. Tell us your biggest takeaway from this interview with the jail daughter.
Yeah, well, good morning, Julie. This was actually an interview I wasn't expecting to get. Drina Bernhardt, to be honest, was completely sort of contrary to what I was expecting. I think maybe some of us have these, images in our mind. I had heard, knew that she had been arrested 27 times. She's been in and out of jail constantly. She admits to having a drug addiction. So I was expecting, I don't know, a much different type of personality, a harder personality. She described her parents as being hippies, and she kind of had that vibe to her. She was very sweet, very articulate, very kind of soft-spoken, very, very intelligent. And she really just gave insight into Donna Adelson behind bars. She kind of took us inside Donna's mind. And I've got to tell you, it's a scary place. I mean, she talked a lot about how when they were in the pod, it was a big pod with a lot of inmates. Donna had this sort of meek exterior on her personality. But when they were alone, the two of them, Donna suddenly is this tough woman dropping F-bombs, saying how much she despised Dan Markell. And if you remember at the sentencing hearing, she's talking about how Dan shouldn't be a victim either, and that she's a victim. But behind closed doors in jail, she's sitting here just denigrating Dan, the victim, and all this, and it was all about Donna, which isn't a surprise. We know this, but now hearing it and having it confirmed from Drina was very, very interesting insight.
Oh, absolutely, I'm sure. Joel, I want to play everybody a clip from your show where Drina's talking about hubby Harvey.
My first interaction was Donna called me over. She was on the phone with him on her bunk, and she wanted me to say hi. So I said hi, and he was, very kind. And he reminded me of someone like maybe from the Mafia, like, Robert De Niro or Al Pacino or something. So, but yeah, he talked to me, and then when I would get a toothache, we would call him, and he would tell me what to do. He was nice, but I was intimidated by him.
Harvey the mafioso, what? What's this woman talking about, Joel? So her sense of Harvey was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, very interesting, and it confirms some thoughts I had. I covered the trial along with Court TV's Julia Janae. I was there, and I have to say, my mother, Julie, from day one, my mother has said that Harvey, she believes, is complicit in this. And after seeing him in person, he's a completely different person than the way he is sort of portrayed in the media, which is sort of this mild manner yin to Donna's yang. But I have no doubt that he is pulling the strings. Now, Drina admitted that when Donna would call Harvey from her, tablet in jail, oftentimes she would put Drina on the phone, or Harvey would ask to speak to Drina. And we've heard that Harvey was actually zelling Drina, money for the commissary, which is a no-no. And Drina said that Harvey even tried to contact her after being in jail. So what is Harvey up to? What was he doing? There was an investigation opened at one point. I bumped into Harvey at the local kind of luncheonette place in Tallahassee during the trial. He is a scary individual. And obviously this family orchestrated a murder for hire plot. He's somebody that I think prosecutors are still looking at.
Well, this is so interesting to hear you say that, Joel. Wow. And I love your beautiful, brilliant mother, by the way. Mama knows best, and her instincts are something's up with Harvey. And I feel the same way. I've said all along, I can see grounds for an arrest of Wendy and of him based on the evidence we've seen in these trials. So let's talk about that. Let's talk a bit about Wendy. Did Drina say something to you about how Donna expressed some worry about Wendy's arrest being imminent?
So Drina, she was a little bit careful. She opened up quite a bit, but she was a little careful, and it's obvious to us that she knows a little bit more. I mean, at one point, I'll get back to Wendy in just a second. If you watch the interview, and I didn't want to press her too hard because there's also an ongoing, investigation, possible, indictments coming down the road. So she implied, and I still don't fully understand what this is, that the Adelsons are responsible for other crimes. She didn't imply it. She said that. And I said, do you mean financial crimes? And she said no. So I don't know what that means specifically, but it is interesting. Now, as it pertains to Wendy, she said that Donna would only speak kind of lovingly about Wendy, that she didn't really show that much concern about an imminent arrest, but she talked about her as she was her sort of favorite little child, the youngest daughter, and that's how Wendy's always been portrayed. So she was kind of just reasserting what we had already thought and believed, how Donna felt about Wendy.
Wow, fascinating stuff. Joel, if our courties at home want to watch the whole thing, where can they see the interview?
Yeah, the interview's on YouTube, anywhere you listen to podcasts. The thumbnail has Donna's Jailhouse daughter on it, and fairly easy to find.
Very good. Joel Waldman, thanks so much for coming on. We'll speak again soon.